back at you with another video, okay? Y'all, it's been a lot of updates from videos that I've done recently, and I definitely wanted to get into this video. If you don't know, there's this guy named I believe he's like a producer or something, record label exec or something. I don't know what he was back in the day. Anyway, there was a rumor that J to the Z, Jigga, Jigga. Y'all, let me tell you, this puts a new meaning on the name Jigga for JayZ. I didn't even know. You know, when people have nicknames, you want to ask, how did you get that nickname? You know, it's always important to find out, how did you get that nickname, right? Because the whole and JayZ situation really makes me think about JayZ's name, Jigga. Because allegedly, Jay said, ask how I get under that skin. And allegedly, the story goes like this. JayZ and were someplace, even Charlie Baltimore was there. Got jugged. Allegedly, him and Charlie Baltimore said that JayZ did it. JayZ just did a freestyle about a month ago talking about how I get up under that skin. So has did recently a interview on the Art of Dialogues podcast, right? Great interview. I wasn't going to watch it, but I was like, let me watch it. Let me see. Because I saw that Art of Dialogue also did a video or did an interview with Charlie Baltimore. Excuse me, I just finished eating. Art of Dialogue did a video with Charlie Baltimore, or interview with Charlie Baltimore and right? Charlie Baltimore, I'm going to get into that as well. Charlie Baltimore tried to act like, this is my thing. If you're not going to tell the story, don't even talk about it. Okay? If I was being put on blast and someone was asking me, did this happen? Did that happen? I would be like, nah, I'm not answering that. Instead, Charlie Baltimore said, well, it's a whole lot of gossip going on. Dame Dash puts out a lot of gossip. She never did clearly say whether or not she was actually messing with or JayZ after Biggie passed away. Because if you don't know, Charlie Baltimore used to mess with Biggie. And then he passed away. Even though Biggie had a lot of different women, okay, including Faith Evans, who was his wife at the time, and he was messing with Lil' Kim and allegedly Charlie Baltimore, and ain't no telling how many other chicks, right? So, you know, she beat around the bush about that. Did too, but what he really beat around the bush about was whether or not JayZ was the Jigga Man. Okay? You know what I mean. It all makes sense now. Y'all remember Kanye was on stage and he said during his concert, he made it very public. Okay? He said, Jay, hold off your killers from me, or Jay, don't sing your killers after me. Right? And folks thought he was just being extra, okay? Not knowing that it's probably a real thing. It looks like, allegedly, it might just be exactly what Kanye West said, okay? Because all these people who know Jigga, now I gotta call him Jigga. I can't even call him JayZ no more. I gotta call him Jigga. But a lot of guys who grew up with him or spent time with him in the music industry or however, they're doing interviews and they're all talking around, like beating around the bush when it comes to, did Jay-Z do this? Did he do that? I guess they're trying to stay true to a street code of not snitching, which I think is stupid because Jigga Man has snitched on himself when he did that freestyle and said, ask how I get up under skin. Didn't he tell on himself? Anyway, so y'all, goes on the Art of Dialogue. He does the interview. He beats around the bush about whether or not Jay-Z was the Jigga Man. But not only that, he has a letter to Jay-Z that he wants to read. You would think did the jigging to Jay-Z because it sounds like an apology letter. It's super long. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand why, if the Jigga Man got up under your skin, you know what I mean, why are you writing a letter to him sounding like you're apologizing? What is that about? So let's get into it. If you guys are not subscribed, make sure y'all subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. And yeah, I really appreciate it. Let's get into it. So this is He is on the Art of Dialogue. Y'all go check out the Art of Dialogue's video. Check out the full video.
Much to get into, so much I want to chop it up with you about. I do want to ask you about Jay. I know he did a freestyle some weeks ago that went viral where he brought up the stabbing incident between both of y'all. You heard about that?
Yeah, I kind of saw it. You know, but before we kind of talk about that, I was working on something, and I plan on putting out this open letter to JayZ. I think it's about time.
An open letter to JayZ. Y'all, you can't make this shit up.
I kind of had this conversation with him. I wanted to really have it privately, but I thought it would be good to reach out to him this way. Dear JayZ, I'm writing this letter because your voice has always carried meaning beyond music. For decades, your journey has represented possibilities to people who were told to expect limitations. But your story also represents something bigger than individual success. You became a symbol of what can happen when talent meets opportunity and when ambition refuses to surrender to the systems designed to contain it. For many people, especially within Black communities across America, your rise challenged narratives that said greatness could only exist in certain places, schools, neighborhoods, or social classes. That is why your voice still matters today. Because right now, the world feels heavy. People are tired. Families are struggling. Communities are divided. So many people are carrying anger, grief, fear, and hopelessness while trying to smile through it every day. We see violence becoming normal. We see people losing faith in each other. We see systems.
Y'all, is this is his open letter to JayZ, the Jigga Man. Okay? I mean, I don't mean to be disrespectful with laughing at this, but this is hilarious to me. The Jigga Man allegedly got up underneath your skin, right? And you're writing him a letter, which sounds like you're writing a letter to get into a college or apply for an internship, like a very famous internship or some shit. I don't know. What in the world? Why would you? Y'all, just listen, y'all.
And you fail the same communities over and over again while the culture keeps moving forward like none of it hurts. But it does hurt. And that is why your voice still matters. Not because you're famous, not because you're wealthy, but because you understand what it feels like to come from environments where people have to fight mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially just to survive. You understand the weight people carry when they feel trapped between who they are and who the world expects them to become. Your story evolved beyond survival. You showed people growth. You showed people that healing, learning.
When? When? When has Jay-Z been the pillar of motivation for people? For our people? When? I'll wait. I'll wait. Jay-Z has in my opinion, and don't I have the right to my opinion? Okay? In my opinion, allegedly, Jay-Z has stolen others' music, used it as his own. He gets the hottest rapper or artist on his albums, on his songs. That helps build him up. Now he thinks he's holier than thou. He is thou. Okay? So he thinks. So what has he done to help anyone in any community, anywhere in the world? I don't understand why this guy is writing this letter to Jay-Z as if Jay-Z wouldn't use it to wipe his behind with. Okay? It's no respect. You can't get no respect from a person like Jay-Z who thinks he is the highest of the high. He thinks he's the highest of the high. How you gonna get respect from someone like that? You got to get through the real him, his ego, the cockiness, the master manipulator. It's too many levels to a guy like Jay-Z. You can't write this dude a letter on your cell phone and go public with it. He allegedly poked you. Why are you writing the letter to apologizing to him? Because it sounds like an apology letter. Y'all check it out.
And self-awareness are possible too. And honestly, the world needs more of that right now. We are living through a time where people are exhausted by division, inequality, violence, political tension, and economic struggle. Too many young people grow up feeling invisible. Too many communities continue fighting against underfunded schools, mass incarceration, discrimination, addiction, poverty, and the constant pressure of simply trying to survive another day. At the same time, there's brilliance in those communities. There's creativity, leadership, intelligence, culture, and untapped potential everywhere. Sometimes people just need proof that another future is possible. For many, you became that proof. What makes your journey powerful is not just wealth or success, it is evolution. People watched you grow from speak.
Is this making any sense to y'all? Yeah, let me know in the comment section if I'm being insensitive. Okay? Because I'm a sensitive person. And this seems like a joke. I'm looking at this like this gotta be a joke. You gotta be kidding me, right? Jay-Z don't care about any of this from you. Allegedly, he just went public and boast about how he got up under your skin in the worst way, and you're writing a Dear John letter to him. I don't know. Y'all tell me.
About survival to speaking about ownership, generational wealth, accountability, and legacy. That evolution gave people permission to believe they can grow too. And now, more than ever, the culture needs voices willing to connect success with responsibility. Not responsibility rooted in perfection, but responsibility rooted in impact. The world does not only need entertainers, it needs leaders who can inspire people to think deeper about education, financial literacy, mental health, political awareness, economic empowerment, and community unity. It needs people who can remind younger generations that power is not only about escaping hardship, but about reaching back and helping others rise too. Your influence reaches people that politicians, institutions, and media often can't reach. That influence can continue planting seeds of hope, discipline, ownership, and awareness in places where hopelessness has become normal. That is real leadership. That kind of legacy lasts longer than charts, headlines, or business deals. Thank you for showing generations that growth is possible, that intelligence matters.
This dude just thanked JayZ. Allegedly, the guy who jigged him, and he don't even know why it happened. He said, unsaid, that he don't know the reason why he got jugged. He said he doesn't know. He said they were playing a fair game in the music industry. He said everything was fair. It was competitive. But he says he doesn't know why it all happened. But yet he's apologizing and thanking JayZ for what? This is weird. Super duper weird.
And that resilience can become transformation. Respectfully, Lance on Rivera. Now let me upload this.
Huh. Did he talk about let him upload it? To what? Upload it to what? Did he just write that while he was waiting on the interview to start? I don't know. It's super strange to me. I guess that's the question was, did you hear about JayZ doing a freestyle and including in the freestyle? He said, yes, he heard it. And he said, before they go any further, he wanted to read off that letter that he wrote to JayZ. And that is the letter that he uploaded to get to JayZ somehow. Well, of course, we know Jay's watching, right? So we know he has heard it because this interview came out, maybe it was this weekend or yesterday. I think I watched it yesterday, but I don't know when the original video went out. It would have had to been just recently, like this past weekend or something. A whole hot mess, right? But listen, he's not finished. What do you call it? Beating around the bush. Hold up, wait, there's more.
Okay. Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah, I heard it like everybody else heard it. What you want to know about it?
How did you feel about it?
I thought it was not one of the best bars that he's had. I think that what people need to understand is that most of JayZ's intentions is purely based on marketing. I was part of the rollout for the products that's going out right now in the streets. So I fell victim to that. I'm used over and over again in that capacity. Like I said, from the beginning, it's always been about marketing. It's just that I continue to be the butt of the joke. So he talks about trauma, but what about my trauma? What about people who lived the trauma? That he
Mm.
keeps bringing it back up and back up. And I mean, I understand marketing and promotion.
That was good right there. That was good. Because JayZ did do an interview and talked about trauma and how men and women and children should be off limits, and trying to make himself sound like he's such a high upstanding guy when we know that there are people out here that are saying that they are JayZ's children, and he hasn't stood up and been there for them. He has fought them in court for everything except for taking a paternity test for years. Years. About 10, 15, 20 years allegedly fighting someone in court versus just taking a paternity test and letting that be the end of it. It's crazy. It's weird out here. It's real weird. And then people up here standing up for JayZ like he is this God, or not even that, lower than that, as if he is a good human being. Do you take that as someone who's a good human being? Someone, a grown man who has a whole bunch of children, allegedly has children he's not claiming. And I wondered why on Father's Day, a lot of celebrity guys, they were posting pictures of them with their children and stuff. I didn't see JayZ post no pictures of him with his children. We know why. We know exactly why. Okay? That wouldn't have went over well. So great marketing from his PR people about that one. Yeah, just leave that alone, bruh. Just leave that alone. We don't even want to go there. Okay? Because it'll stir up some stuff he wasn't ready for. But the fact that JayZ can just do whatever, he's all out here on tour marketing some clothing that I don't even know where the clothing came from. Like, is it a new clothing brand? Is it older clothing, like revamped or something? Like, I don't know. I don't understand. But he's out here with his daughter, Blue Ivy, okay, using all her young energy. He reminds me of Diddy when it comes to that. Diddy took Young Miami's energy and he used it up and it powered him up, okay, to superpower status, and then of course he got knocked all the way back down. But JayZ is doing the same thing, and I feel like he's going to power down as well. Okay, someone's going to unplug his power, and he's going to be just like Diddy, in my opinion. I feel like real soon. It's just not looking good. I don't know. And someone needs to put him on blast about him saying that he got up under unskin, and you out here trying to portray yourself like you a good gentleman. Just weird. Anyway, also was asked about Dame Dash, and he said that Dame Dash, I'm gonna let y'all hear.
But if you want to send the message to your brand and your partnerships that you're dangerous and you'll threaten to hurt people using me as an example of how dangerous you are, just to sell product.
Speaking of dangerous, real quick, I'm sorry. Speaking of dangerous, I thought it's very interesting that JayZ has an afro. I'm pretty sure they tied some braids in there, some cornrows in there. So it's kind of, his style is kind of giving me like thug. So I guess since he's like on tour or promoting himself, his brands, whatever he's doing, because allegedly he needs the funds, it seems like he has trying to rebrand himself and give this type of thug mentality that he allegedly has, the thug mentality, because everyone who talks about him, who actually knows him, they won't really say anything incriminating. They beat around the bush when it comes to everything, right? Like, you can listen. No one has said anything incriminating in the recent years. Like Charlie Baltimore, she been said that Un told her because when Un got jugged, Charlie Baltimore was there. She came in, she went to his side, and she said he just kept saying that Jigga did it, Jigga did it, Jigga did it, Jigga did it. Well, he didn't say Jigga, he said JayZ. Allegedly. This is what Charlie Baltimore said. So she put it out there. Un also said it as well. He also said that it wasn't JayZ. So he's changed it up, but I believe it because Charlie Baltimore said that it was true and said that when she went to his side right after it happened, that he told her who did it. So I don't know.
And that's up to him. I'm not against him making money. But like I said, he talks about trauma. He could afford good therapists. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to deal with it accordingly. So, but I'm willing, like I said, even with the open letter, I wanted to do it privately. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be, you know, but he puts me out here, and he puts me out here in a sort of negative light, and it's, right now it's starting to become a little bit redundant. Like I said, if you want to sell products, find another way to make you a, a tough guy, a bad guy. Stop using me to do it. Unless you're gonna pay me, send me a check. I'll be a part of your marketing strategy. It's all good.
So for the people that may not be familiar with, the incident where you got stabbed, can you give everybody a play-by-play of what happened?
Well, I mean, I kind of talked about it in the past. It was a circumstance that, I was put in a position where, I was undermanned, surrounded by multiple weapons, and, anybody who's ever been put in that position, through prison or the streets, know that, 20 to 1 knives and things like that. You gotta do what you gotta do to stay alive. So, that's really what happened. It wasn't nothing, too much more to that. It was just, I mean, I guess I was that much. I don't know when I became a threat or how I became a threat to these guys, where it started out as friendly competition, and and it was Big E and us all together at one time, and then it kind of turned. And for the life of me, I'm trying to get to the bottom of the why. Everybody assumes that this is the reason, but nah, there's some real reasons why it happened. So we'll get to that. We'll someday unfold those traumatic moments.
You personally, when do you think it was over?
Well, I mean, for me personally, I couldn't really tell you. Like I said, it could have been an abundance of things. Like I said, but for me and him to get into any kind of altercations, like I said, it was friendly competition. It was industry shit. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really something that, you kind of prepared yourself to, be put in a position where you gotta protect yourself and defend yourself against these industry guys. So it came as a shock to me.
A lot of people say that, it was over you leaking his album on purpose.
I mean, I kind of feel like that he,
So he said, so the interviewer is saying that a lot of people said that JayZ allegedly jigged over leaking JayZ's album. I've never heard that one, but I don't know. Let's find out more.
he answered that on, 444 when he, brought my name up when he was selling 444 the album. And sort of clarified that maybe it wasn't about that, and then all of the other things with girls is concerned, I think that, you know, a lot of people need to just walk a fine line when it comes to that because there's no facts, it's all rumor, guys like Dame who puts rumors out there. And
So if you don't know, Dame Dash said that Charlie Baltimore was messing with JayZ, and that was the real reason, allegedly, that all this is alleged, and in my opinion, and I'm just saying, repeating what I heard. So Dame Dash alleges that JayZ stabbed because he was started messing with Charlie Baltimore, and JayZ was messing with Charlie Baltimore, so he felt some type of way. So that's what the jigging was about. And I just think it's real crazy that guys would be, I guess, I don't know. I know some guys get real hurt when, and to think about, let me just finish. So I know a lot of guys and women too. They get real jealous when they find out someone's messing with their lover, right? And women, we already know. Oh, if a woman hear about another woman messing with her so-called man, then she may go after this girl, and she may go after the girl and do whatever. Also, men do the same thing. So it's not crazy to think that JayZ would have got at like this because of Charlie Baltimore. Because think about it, JayZ ugly right now, y'all. He was super duper ugly back then. I don't mean no harm, but he was tall. He always was a tall guy. So I'm pretty sure a lot of ladies liked him because he's tall, but right, yeah. I definitely agree, Mackenzie. I definitely agree, but stuff happens. It does. And I was kind of thinking, like, like Un said, like, that's stupid. But come to find out, allegedly, Un did admit that he was messing with Charlie Baltimore. So it's like, but what he didn't say was that JayZ was messing with Charlie Baltimore. So it's like, so I mean, but Un did said it could have been a number of reasons why Jay got up under his skin like he did. If y'all are still here watching, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I talk about a lot of celebrity gossip, okay? I want to get into another video talking about doing an update about Big Tigger, y'all, because Big Tigger has just let everyone know that he walked away from his radio job. And I knew it. I said that he probably was going to get fired. And allegedly, he did get fired. But he's telling everyone that he walked away from his job. Anyway, let's get back to this. There's just a little bit more here. I wanted to listen to talk about how Dame Dash is putting out false information, even though he's going to tell us that he was messing with Charlie Baltimore, which is real crazy.
And kind of try to stand on them as facts, and he's doing the woman in this thing a disservice. It's not even about the man. The woman is the one that's more affected by it. You know what I'm saying?
So Un is saying right here, because the question, because he said he brought up Dame Dash, and he said Dame Dash is putting a lot of, spreading a lot of rumors, pretty much, right? And then he's saying that Dame Dash is really affecting the woman, which is Charlie Baltimore, by putting her business out here. Yet he's going to put her business out here by telling that he was actually in a relationship with her. So it's like, dude, what?
So he needs to be careful because, there's some liable shit that he can box himself into. Because, like I said, there's no truth or any facts to anything that he's saying. It's all rumor based and speculative.
Yeah, Dame is the one that told me that, Jay, he stabbed you over Charlie Baltimore, So, yeah, he was really against that. He didn't like how both of y'all got with her after Big died, so.
Well, I mean, like I said, he needs to have facts when he makes statements like that. Like I said, it's not about who seems like they're the ones that is the bad person.
To me, you could clearly see that Un is nervous. He's real nervous about information that he's talking about. I really don't understand why he decided to do this interview, because I'm getting nervous for him. Like I'm like, oh my goodness, be careful, because of his nervousness. And I'm the type of person, I could tell when someone feels a certain type of way. And I could tell here that Un is very uncomfortable having this conversation. And it makes me believe that he's uncomfortable because he doesn't know what JayZ is capable of doing, which is why he wrote that letter apologizing to the same person who got up under his skin for reasons unknown.
He's making it seem like it's this or it's that, and I'm saying, bro, you have no idea what you're talking about. It's where is your facts? And don't tell me about cause you heard, and don't tell me about cause your man said and he said. Like I think she has a right to sue you if you ask me. So you could play these games, all the games that you want in terms of allegedly, and you guys use these words and you use freedom of speech and you hide behind that, and but one day the truth is going to expose it all. So just be patient because they're all exposing each other now. So. But when it comes to that is something that he has to prove in a court of law. Other than that, I don't know what to tell you. Dame is Dame.
Did you have a relationship with Charlie Baltimore?
Who? Me?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Why Art asked him, did you have a relationship with Charlie Baltimore? Because the question was, or well, I guess the statement was, Art was saying that Dame Dash told him on his interview that JayZ allegedly got at Un because Un was messing with Charlie Baltimore and JayZ was messing with Charlie Baltimore. So that's why the jigging happened. And so Un is saying he shouldn't be putting out information about the woman. The woman should be able to sue. And now Art's asking him a very, very direct question. Did you have a relationship with Charlie Baltimore? And somehow his mind done went blank. He don't even know what we talking about no more. He talking about who? That was funny. Oh my goodness, that was funny.
Charlie Baltimore signed to me as an artist. Absolutely. Charlie Baltimore was signed to me as an artist.
Did you have an intimate relationship with Charlie Baltimore?
Charlie Baltimore was signed to me as an artist. And yes, we've had intimate moments in the studio making records.
Telling
Yes.
all this woman business. Now, didn't he just say that Dame shouldn't be out here putting out information about this woman, but yet he out here volunteering information about the same said woman? What if she didn't want that information to come out? Okay, Dame said it, but why you gotta confirm it? What if she didn't want people to know that she been messing with you? Cause I'm gonna do a video about her interview when Art asked her was she messing with Un, and she almost did the same. She almost gave the same type of tactics that Un gave. She went on and on about something that it confused the hell out of me. But but Art stayed on point because he even reacts the question again, so to get us back on track in the interview. Great interview, Art. Great interview, Art. But these two, I believe they talked before they did the interviews. I think Charlie Baltimore did the interview first. I'm not sure. I think her interview got put out first, and then undid his video. I'm not quite sure which one did the interview first, what the art of dialogue. But it sound their stories and the way they interview, it seems very similar. It makes me feel like they talk. And they probably said, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. But I bet didn't tell Charlie Baltimore that he was going to go on here and tell everybody that he was messing with her, because I'm pretty sure she didn't want that information to get out. But whatever. This was funny.
We sat there and we was intimate about our emotions and getting the right emotions out of the record. Absolutely. 1000%.
Hypothetically, you being friends with Big and y'all
She
being
can't
business
deny that.
partners, if you did have an intimate relationship with Charlie Baltimore, you personally, do you see anything wrong with that?
I mean, I think that toward consenting adults who want to be in a relationship in any kind of form, it's cool with me. You know, love is love. You can't, there's no way that you're going to be able to destroy that, you know, at all. So hypothetically, yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
So you don't see anything wrong with that?
I mean, I can't see anything wrong with a person falling in love with a person. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Whew. Child. Crazy. Now I'm gonna do the part 2 to this, and we're gonna watch the Charlie Baltimore interview, and we're gonna see how she beat around the bush just like tried to do, but she never actually confirmed anything. She just said that Dame Dash was putting out a lot of gossip. And I was thinking, well, Dad, why wouldn't she just say yes or no versus keep talking about Dame Dash is putting out gossip and, explaining stuff that don't even make sense. It was just a whole lot of beating around the bush for nothing. For nothing. You see, came out and talked about, he did admit that he was messing with Charlie Baltimore. Now, him and Charlie Baltimore was messing around right after Biggie passed away. Allegedly, Dame Dash said that Charlie Baltimore was also messing with JayZ. And that's why the whole, get up under your skin incident happened. Child, this thing goes deep. Okay, it gets real deep. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about Un's letter to JayZ, to the Jigga Man. That's why I'm gonna call it letter to the Jigga Man. This put a whole nother meaning on the Jigga Man. I'm gonna tell you, I didn't even know. I didn't even know. Didn't know. Did you know? Did you have any suspicions that his name was Jigga because he was actually jigging? I don't know, child. Allegedly, okay. And in my opinion, and in the opinions of others, all right. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this information in the comment section. How do y'all feel about this letter that Un wrote to Jigga? Okay. How do you feel about Un coming out here telling all Charlie Baltimore's business? Okay, by telling that, yeah, he was in an intimate relationship with her. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it all. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel here. Make sure y'all give me a thumbs up. I really would appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really would appreciate that as well. It's the free way to support my channel. Okay? You watching? Why not just go ahead and, click that thumbs up button or subscribe to my channel so you can get an update every time I go live. I will be back with part 2, which is Charlie Baltimore's interview, because we need to get into it. I want y'all to see how she was stuttering and try to confuse us with a whole bunch of antics instead of just saying yes and yay or nay. Okay? These people be out here, they so funny, y'all. Okay, but I'm watching it because it's very entertainment, and that's exactly what my channel is about, entertainment. So, and for entertainment purposes only. You guys, thank you again for watching, and I'll be back with another video real soon. Peace.